when you started seeing, sustainability is also playing a role?
Actually, my interest deepened in sustainability when I saw that MSMEs, despite resource constraints.
But the companies who were not very green, but they got very good rating. The reason was?
So the gap between the practice and positioning is there, where lies a opportunity.
How do you see कि ये progress कैसे हुआ है sustainability उनके साथ last 5-6 years you see?
Because at the domestic level, what is important? At the domestic level, environmental norms are important.
So compliance is a burden or opportunity?
I think it's an opportunity with emerging carbon market potential.
Yeah, hi, welcome to 2 Degree Talk, a Fitsol podcast on climate action sustainability, where we bring people, ideas and systems who are working towards the climate action. I am your host, Anand, CEO of Fitsol. Today with us is someone who is working with MSME industry for last 2 decades and more. Please, we would like to welcome Mr. Rajesh Batra. He is head of Center for MSMEs at IICA, which is an autonomous body under Government of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. He has worked almost 2 decades with the MSME in their policy making, supply chain, finance sector, and he knows what are their problems and what actions they are taking towards the sustainability. So I think it would be a very interesting experience because there are almost, I think, more than 1 million MSMEs in India right now, and we are trying to address how they can reach towards the sustainability, which is a need of the hour. So welcome, sir.
So thank you very much, Mr. Anand Pathak ji. First of all, I'm very thankful to you for inviting me to your 2 Degree Talk show. So I hope this discussion is going to be very interesting for the audience.
Yes, definitely. So we will start with your introduction. Tell us something about yourself, how you have started working with MSMEs, your background. We can start with there.
Sure, sir. My journey has largely been in public sector leadership, working closely with MSMEs across finance policy and capacity building. And over the years, I have seen MSMEs not as economic unit, even I have seen them as a symbol of growth.
Yes.
Symbol of growth, I have seen them. And my professional career includes senior roles in NSIC Limited, in Hindustan Insecticide Limited and Nepal Limited, where I directed many bigger projects which contributed to sustainable industrial ecosystem. And currently I am working as head of the center in Ministry of MSME, that is Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, Statutory Ministry of Corporate Affairs, where I have led institutional administration as well as the academic and executive education initiatives on all over India basis.
That was the powerful introduction, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Tell me something about your personal life, where you are from, your background.
I am born and brought up in Delhi, and I'm living, my parent house is in Delhi, New Delhi, and I'm living with my family at Faridabad, and my office is in Manesar, IMT Manesar, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, where currently I'm heading the Center for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, where I lead academic and executive education initiatives across the country. Okay. So my life, if you ask, it is moving always, in NCR, because parent house in Delhi, my own house in Faridabad, my office in Manesar. So this has been only in NCR, the life is moving. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So how do you kind of started looking into sustainability and MSME? So MSME, definitely you have been working for last 2 decades plus. But when you started seeing, sustainability is also playing a role, and there should be some focus in this area also.
Actually, my interest deepened in sustainability when I saw that MSMEs, despite resource constraints, they are always, part of the industrial emissions.
Yes.
Because I saw 2 sided impacts. On one side, MSMEs contribute 30% of the GDP. They contribute 49% of the exports. They contribute, but they also contribute 40% of the industrial emission also. And MSMEs who are using fuel and energy, they are naturally part of the emissions. So this way, my interest deepened into sustainability. I realized that Indian green transition will either be lost or won. It is only in the MSME cluster. I remember I visited one foundry cluster in Uttarakhand, where one owner of the foundry unit, he told me that sustainability is a big company word. So when we did some energy audit and furnace optimization, his electricity bill dropped by 18%. His productivity improved. So today that foundry unit says that I'm a green manufacturer. So that is the way I saw that, yes, people are already doing good practice, but they are not actually documenting it.
Yes.
That is what I have seen it.
Completely agree. So I was reading one article few days back only. where the companies who are doing very good green practices, they got very less score in one of the rating, and I saw this over LinkedIn, very famous rating agency. But the companies who were not very green, but they got very good rating. The reason was the company who were not very green, but they are documenting their processes. The company who are taking lot of actions also, but they are not documenting it properly. अगर वो डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं करे प्रॉपर्ली तो वो रेटिंग के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं तो उनके पास प्रूफ ही नहीं है.
दैट इज अ मेजर गैप.
तो मेरे ख्याल से MSMEs, व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, कंप्लीटली एग्री. दे टेक लॉट ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स, और क्योंकि इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने भी इतना पुश किया है फॉर ग्रीन इनिशिएटिव्स, एंड सम ऑफ द ग्रीन इनिशिएटिव्स आल्सो गिविंग कॉस्ट रिडक्शन, जैसे आपने बताया था अच्छा खासा, पर डॉक्यूमेंट करने में उनको प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, एंड दैट्स आई थिंक दे नीड major support.
And one of the interesting areas is carbon trade.
Yes.
I would like to refer one study. The name was Possibility of Generation and Marketing of Carbon Credit with respect to MSMEs using different type of fuels and energy. This study was initiated by NSIC and PwC. And this study highlights that MSMEs who are using different energy and fuels can potentially generate a lot of carbon credit. I remember one engineering unit, they were able to improve productivity, they were able to reduce their energy emission, but they were not quantifying it. But when I talked about them, about the carbon credit, they were completely unaware it. They were not aware that it can be monetized also. So the gap between the practice and positioning is there, where lies a opportunity.
Definitely, completely agree. I was in one of the meeting, a Commerce Chambers की meeting में थी, where I am part of their board for green, and मैंने उनको बोला था let's take target to at least help these MSMEs. They are, I think, 6.3 crores MSMEs. Well, I was discussing with you.
6.3 crore MSMEs in India. If any intervention is made at this level, I think it can scale up like anything.
Yes, they need support, completely agree. So, because you are working with them for last so many years, how do you see कि ये progress कैसे हुआ है sustainability उनके साथ last 5-6 years? You see, is there some sense of urgency, या you have seen the difference? क्योंकि 5-6 साल बाद पहले इंडिया में भी उतना progress नहीं था, but because OEMs and big companies have started taking initiatives, has it gone down to this pressure, has gone down to MSMEs, and have you seen some changes?
I will not say it is a pressure, because at the domestic level, what is important? At the domestic level, environmental norms are important. So at the domestic level, energy norms are available. But at the global level, there is a ESG expectation from the buyers. At the global level, there is a sustainable sourcing is very important. And the sustainability, because what happens when the large corporates become very serious about the sustainability. And there is of course, to some extent, I will say there is a OEM pressure, vendor pressure from the global buyers also. But MSMEs are already in the supply chain of the large corporates. They are already in the supply chain of the bigger corporations. So if the large corporates are serious about sustainability, then MSMEs have no choice. They have to adopt the energy efficiency.
Yes, so I think previously sustainability mein, I think as we were discussing offline, you were saying that most of these MSME previously they were talking about कि ये कॉस्ट कैसे कम कर सकते हैं, बट नाउ दे हैव मूव टुवर्ड्स फ्रॉम कॉस्ट से पॉलिसीज के साइड ज़्यादा मूव हो रहे हैं. यस, वी हैव टू डू दिस.
यू राइटली सेड, बिकॉज अर्लियर सस्टेनेबिलिटी जो था ना, दे MSMEs always associated sustainability with environmental norms and waste disposal only. They were not concerned too much about it.
Yes.
But gradually they also started that when they introduced some small changes, even suppose one engineering unit was there, he was very much concerned. He was thinking that sustainability is a very heavy investment, and he was worried about the high power bill, high electricity bill. We simply asked him, okay, you just detect your idle machinery. You just detect, you measure the idle machinery when it is idle. Just measure the idle timing of the machine. He did that. After a month, the energy saving was from 12 to 15%. So that is where he also realized that it is only the awareness and the mindset which matters in sustainability.
Completely agree. अभी मैं गया था कुछ दिन पहले. We had one warehouse inauguration for one of our customers. So वहाँ पे जिनसे warehouse लिए, warehouse transportation काफ़ी कुछ करते हैं. Small level पे he has built his business. So I told him about कि warehouse में solar लगवा देते हैं. This kind of, if he takes initiative, it will be useful for him and environment. तो बहुत लोगों को आइडिया नहीं है कि solar OPEX model भी आ सकता है, and there is a cost saving also.
There are many MSMEs who adopted solar rooftop solutions, and they are able to save a lot of electricity bills. And if I mention about the textile units, textile artisans, they are already using very low energy, very low minimal process. They are using it. They are using natural fibers, so they are already sustainable. They are already actually meeting the sustainability standards. But since they are not documenting it, they are not able to get the premium market.
Yes.
That is the reason. If I give you example in Tamil Nadu, there is one leather cluster. They started using green cleaner technologies.
Okay.
And they were able to retain their export clients. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult because of the environmental norms.
Yeah, very very interesting examples. ये बात करके पता चल रहा है कि इस लेवल पे पॉकेट्स में काफ़ी कुछ हो रहा है. Learning is there, and to become export oriented, because India as a nation has become a lot of export oriented, most of these MSMEs has to get to that level.
Yeah, government is promoting that there should be there is actually a promotion from the government level also. They want to reduce import dependence, and they want to promote export. If you look at the definition of MSME, but even if your sale is if you see the definition, it is ranging from 100 crore up to 250 crore turnover. They are saying it is all MSME. But if they make a turnover 1,000 crore in export, that is excluded. Okay. Because government wants to promote export competitiveness. They want to reduce import dependence, and they want to go for Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Okay, that's great. So, but just by seeing so many examples of MSME happening in the pockets, I think मेरे भी काफ़ी, although I work a lot with MSMEs, but पहले मुझे भी इतना वो नहीं था. So I was thinking कि misunderstood है actually MSMEs, क्या कर रहे हैं क्या नहीं कर रहे हैं. We were not able to understand. I think यहाँ पे मुझे लगता है अगर मेरे जैसे लोग जो काफ़ी काम कर रहे हैं उनको इतना आइडिया नहीं है, बिकॉज दे आर डेफिनेटली सो मेनी MSMEs इन करोर्स. व्हाट इज़ वन थिंग जो आपको लगता है जो पीपल मिसअंडरस्टूड कर रहे हैं MSMEs के लिए बारे में, एंड दैट यू वुड लाइक टू चेंज?
वेरी रिलेवेंट क्वेश्चन. People actually misunderstand about the MSME. They think that MSMEs lack intent or capability. But in reality, they do not lack intent. What they lack is structured ecosystem support. So there are many examples that if I talk about again the foundry cluster, the cluster units knew that efficiency mattered, but economics did not work. But when the junior supported approach came, when junior supported cluster approach came, they got clear technical guidance, they got shared infrastructure, so they were able to reduce a lot of emissions, they were able to reduce power usage, they were able to reduce the wastage. So this way, it is only when you give the technical guidance and shared infrastructure, then I think MSMEs are able to adopt sustainability in a better way in the clusters.
Yes. What is one of the most unexpected, or you can say memorable experience about MSME that you would like to tell?
The memorable experience is that MSMEs, when they are in clusters, when they are in making a collective model, when they work it, then sustainability adoption accelerates. So that is the one memorable experience.
So नहीं आप सही बोल रहे हो, because I was talking to one company, they are big solar provider and they finance a lot of these projects. So because we work with a lot of these MSMEs and we also help them in doing that, so they were approaching us, can we connect them to these MSMEs? And they were only telling this point कि if Anand you can bring us clusters of MSME, then it makes a lot of sense. क्योंकि छोटे लेवल पे जाके प्रोजेक्ट करना उनके लिए भी दिक्कत है.
I have experienced that in one of the MSME cluster. Initially, one unit adopted the energy efficiency measures. But what happened, because they were in cluster, others MSMEs also started following the same practice, and within 1 year, the entire cluster was able to adopt the sustainability.
I think this is
so it is more viable in clusters. It is not viable individually. Individually, it can be, but at a larger level in India, it can happen only by cluster by cluster.
And clusters के I think there some head clusters में हर जगह ऐसा होता है क्या, कुछ bodies होती है उन clusters की?
Actually क्या होता है, there are two types of efforts which MSME unit can do. One is at the unit level. At unit level, you will always measure your energy usage, water usage, waste. You will measure it, and you will carry out the monthly review also. You will monitor it also. But at the cluster level, if you talk about, they have to join. The cluster associations are there. Then there are a lot of cluster programs are there. If they become part of that, they will get a lot of solutions. So that is the beauty working at the unit level as well at the cluster level.
So, is there any framework, sustainability framework at the cluster level or MSME level, India level?
In practical terms, this sustainability framework is taking small measurable actions. But for MSME, it is a checklist, structured checklist. If I give you one example, one unit in Tripura, he started using one treatment system he followed to detect the water usage. And later on, what happened? His cost reduced. His cost of water reduced, and he was able to adopt a lot of sustainability and improve his productivity. So that is where the structured framework helped. And for MSME, it is not a complex 100-page report. For MSME, what matters is that you have to simply track your energy usage, your water usage, your waste disposal. You have to track it, you have to monitor it, and you have to incentivize it. So incentivize MSMEs can tap always two schemes. One is called MSE gift scheme. Second is called MSE spice scheme. MSME gift scheme stands for green micro and small enterprises investment for green transformation. There MSMEs get a lot of interest submission for green technology. MSE spice is micro and small enterprise promotion investment in circular economy. So they can so this way MSMEs can integrate it into their daily operation. And they can follow it. And if I talk about different type of framework, there is one MSME sustainable JET certification. This is actually, I can say this is a guided journey. And this helps MSMEs in reducing the wastage, in conserving the energy. So that JET certification like a gold certificate for the MSMEs. And there is a 80% subsidies also for the micro entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Then there is another sustainability framework, which I call it RAMP. I don't call it government has announced here, raising and accelerating MSME performance. Through this, Government of India is trying to strengthen the MSMEs competitiveness, and they are working for greening of the MSMEs. Then there is another framework, BRSR, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Reporting. That impacts through supply chain only. So these are the major framework which are very important for the MSMEs.
Great. Is there any cluster-based sustainable reporting kind of, because most of these MSME, they work on the cluster basis. Is there any guidance framework for the same?
These are the framework only, like JET certification framework. Then there is a BRSR framework. So
BRSR is not mandatory.
Then RAMP is there.
Are these mandatory framework or?
Actually, what happened, MSMEs has always seen, subsidy driven. But now there is a shift. Instead of subsidy driven, now we are seeing MSMEs are shifting to performance driven.
Okay.
So that is where these framework work. And a lot of incentives are available, a lot of promotion is available. And in today's world, when there is a clustered approach supported by UNIDO, there is a MSME sustainable certification like JET. So there is a clear pathway that sustainability can be implemented within MSME. It is measurable, it is scalable in MSME. I will say for every MSME.
Yes. So that mindset is not changing. Pehle MSMEs, for example, used to say that this is for bigger companies. It's a mandate for them. But I think there is a shift in the mindset. No, it is not only for the big organization. It's useful for us also, and we should do this if you want to be competitive.
20 years ago, people said that this sustainability is for big corporates. But it is not the scene now, because it is now a business survival. They have to go for sustainability. Now, sustainability is a ISO certification.
Yes.
So what happens in today's time? You can't be a vendor. You don't qualify as a vendor if you don't have ISO certification. So that is where I can say that this is a business survival. It is not a luxury now. It is now a business necessity.
Completely agree. So where do you think MSME struggle in implementation of these initiatives?
The first mile problem where they struggle is the high cost of the green machinery. And second is documentation gap where they struggle the most. I have seen many MSMEs struggle. It is not that they lack the intent. They want to do, but they don't know where to begin. For example, a food processing unit, I interacted with them. They wanted to reduce the waste, but they were not understanding that just by segregating the organic waste, they can not only reduce the waste, if they just segregate the organic part, they will be able to dispose it at a very good price also. It will become a revenue stream also. So it is possible.
Completely agree. So you are telling it's not lack of intent, it's generally information, lack of information, and then the documentation is one of the issue. उसमें you think कि cluster based approach help करता है क्योंकि देख के बोलते हैं ना.
Yes, you are very rightly said. There are two very good schemes which are initiated by the government of India. They indirectly impact the sustainability. One is called S40, scheme for generation of fund for regeneration of the textile of the traditional industries. In this scheme, what happens? They aim to scalably improve. They aim to improve the income of the artisans, then make them collective as a cluster, help them in product development, diversification, and value creation. So that then second scheme is micro and small enterprise cluster development program. So this scheme provides infrastructure and common effluent treatment plants. So these are the two schemes which are helping the MSMEs in sustainability, because when they get effluent treatment plant, they get shared energy and solar infrastructure, they get technical guidance. So these are the schemes which directly and indirectly both will help the MSMEs.
Completely agree. What do you think, is there any common compliance that you think most of these MSME should be aware of? Because most of them would be listening to this podcast. Is there any compliance thing that you want to say?
Yes, as I already told you that at the domestic level, there are compliance related to environment. There are compliance relating to electricity. So there are compliance related to labor welfare practice. They have to follow that. So as regards MSME's common compliance, beyond basic PCB, Pollution Control Board, they have to now look for EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility, for audit, for energy audit and waste disposal. They have to look into that. And I think this will help them in meeting the common compliance requirement.
So yeah, completely agree. So we, as a company, we have one vertical on EPR and recycling, where the team works with lot of recycler at the background and MSMEs. Most of these recyclers are MSME also, correct? So the team helps them in getting compliance and making those EPR credit available to the companies who needs that. So we see, yes, there is a lot of gap in the market regarding that, and government is taking a lot of steps in that ताकि ये formal हो जाए, completely cheating ना हो इसमें, and that's where I think a platform or technology will play a huge role. Having said that, if any MSME wants to start their journey on sustainability, what is the first step they should take right now? कल से अगर शुरू करना है क्या करना?
I think if they want to start it today or tomorrow, they should first do the self-assessment. What resources you are using, what waste you are generating, so what laws apply to you. Once you are done with the self-assessment, then they should start tracking their electricity and water usage for 30 days, because you can't manage unless and until you measure it. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So that is very important.
Yeah, completely agree to that point. जहाँ बोलो, if you cannot measure it, you cannot manage it. And there should be a regular measurement also. And that's where I think Fitsol also comes into the picture. We have our own proprietary tool that we have developed, which helps in real-time measurement of this carbon footprint at whatever scale you want. And we have leveraged AI a lot in that, ताकि ये यूज़र फ्रेंडली हो जाए. बहुत सारे MSMEs के पास डेटा रियली अवेलेबल नहीं होते हैं, हम उनको फिर बेंचमार्क देखते हैं, डेटा क्लीनिंग करके, एंड दिस ऑल इज़ काइंड ऑफ AI सपोर्टेड, क्योंकि ये समझ में नहीं आता उनको स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस. सो एक प्रोसेस है, बट अगर आपको इसको सिंपल स्केलेबल मॉडल बनाना है एक सारी चीज़ों को, तो व्हाट इज योर रिकमेंडेशन ऑन दैट?
I would recommend a 4-layer approach. Track, standardize, monitor, incentivize.
Correct.
So what they should track: electricity, water, wastage. Then they should standardize one simple SOP for machine maintenance. Then they can monitor monthly, they can review the data which you talked about that. Then they should incentivize, which I already discussed about two schemes. One is MSE gift scheme, that is green investment for green machinery, green technology, and second is SPICE, which I said, that promotion investment in circular economy. Then they can incentivize it.
Correct.
So this way it will help, it will become a foundation of the compliance certification and ultimately participation in the carbon market.
Correct. So what are some of the real benefits beside compliance?
Absolutely, there are many real benefits in terms of efficiency, in electricity, in productivity. Then in terms of brand credibility, their own credibility improves. So in terms of sustainability, in terms of market access, so these are all the benefits which I see once they adopt this sustainability.
Completely agree. So shall we start with a rapid fire round?
Yes.
So one sustainability myth MSME should ignore.
One sustainability myth is that sustainability is expensive. That is the myth. I give you one example. There was one engineering unit. They simply replaced their traditional lighting with LED lighting, and there was a saving of around 20%.
Correct.
So this way, it is a simple work they did it. And I already explained to you one 0 rupee journey also, that when we asked one MSME to just detect the machine idle, and they were able to reduce the electricity bill by 12 to 15%. So it is not expensive. Most of the interventions which you do, they always give you a lot of return within 1 to 2 years.
So yeah, so that's where we have coined the term as a Fitsol, TCO square, total carbon optimization and total cost optimization. And this is not with MSME. Most of the bigger companies also, industries, they think if you want to be sustainable, you need to incur cost. We are breaking that myth. We are telling them no, carbon reduction can be accompanied by cost reduction also. In a lot of this, and most of these are mainly about efficiencies. If you improve efficiency, cost will get reduced along with carbon. Completely agree in that point. The second is one, you can say one simple action can every MSME start immediately.
Immediately, what they can start, they can set a goal for reducing their electricity usage and water usage by 5%.
Correct. So compliance is a burden or opportunity?
I think it's an opportunity with emerging carbon market potential.
One mistake to avoid?
One mistake to avoid is when they consider sustainability as a one-time project. In fact, it is a continuous process, continuous improvement process.
One word to describe the future?
I will describe it as a inevitable. It is inevitable and monetizable.
I think that was great rapid fire round. Any final closing remarks from your side before we end the podcast?
Yeah, the closing remark which I would like to say here at your 2-degree interaction, that is a very good platform, 2-degree talk, that often MSMEs think that sustainability is a destination. But in fact, it is not a destination, it is a continuous improvement.
Yes.
And I have seen many MSMEs, they just started electricity measurement, and they were able to, within a very short span of time, they were able to transform their entire operation. So sustainability, the future of sustainability in India will not be decided in the boardroom. It will be decided practically on the field, in the cluster by cluster, market by market. So that is the sustainability future will be there.
Great. I think that's a great final closing statement. I think it was one of the, you can say out of the podcast that we have done, it is one of among the top 10 where we are learning about the real life examples of the MSMEs, what they can do. I think most of the audience will definitely benefit a lot from this podcast. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much
for giving your time, sir.
Thank you, sir.